By the name of this video, you might be thinking that I will build an app that should be looking somewhat like with the note-taking app. Now, you are correct and you are not correct as well. How can that be possible? Okay, so let me clear that up. That we are going to take a look about an application base which will help you to create a simple full-fledged note-taking app. Now that framework will help you to build your own app, and of course you can publish with some little tweakings and all of that, this kinds of apps in the App Store. And this video is going to be a base for that. So that's why I wanted to take that onto this section only, and because next section we will start from whatever we have learned so far, like persistent data, loading up that, and table views, navigation, segues, and all of that. And then I'll jump back again onto the basics, clear up some of your fundas, and then we will come back here. So without wasting any more time, let me show you what I mean by an app that can be built so quickly. So here is a create new application project. So we would like to do that. And this time I'll choose a master detail application. Yes, I'm not done with the tabbed application. I'm not done with the single view application, but this time I would like to go with that because really it's a good time to do a simple full-fledged application. So master detail application would be good. Click on the next, and I would like to call it as master demo would be a good name. Of course, not a very fancy name, but I will work out with that. And click on the next. I would like to save it again on my iOS 9 exercise file to give you. And again, in the next movie, you can create a Git repository for that. Right now, we are not worried about that. And everything looks good so far. And just directly, without messing anything out there, I would like to run this application. And I would be running this time on, let's say, iPhone 6 or 5S. Let's just say iPhone 6. Again, it will take a little bit time. So let me just choose iPhone 5 again. It will take much lesser time to load up. Okay, so my iPhone app is up and running. It did took a little bit of time, so I did edited the video. You caught me there. And you can see now we have got a master detail application. This is the master section or master segue, or you can see master view controller. And you can see I have got an edit option, which is not going to work right away. We don't have any text. If I hit on the plus button, it will just get the time for me, the present time. And I can hit a couple of times. I can move from this segue to the next way, which is the detail application. So you got it. This is why we call it a master detail application. So there we got a master, and here we got a detail. I can go back from this navigation bar, and I can move on to any of the detail version. And here we go. I can also swipe to delete this application. Of course, now everyone knows how to include this feature. Of course, we have an edit, and I can click on that and can delete that as well. I can hit done, and I can have a multiple of that. Now I have these kinds of data. I would like to go back, stop the application, run that again. And we'll see that there is no persistent data in that. But we know how to put the persistent data, not a big deal. We can do that. But it's a good time to have a look on these kinds of application. You can see how many I can have, and I can scroll through. This is just a table view. And inside that, there is a big text view, which we are having right now. So quite a good application to get started with for building a note-taking app. But right now I want to have a look about the storyboard, the main controller, the master view, and the detail view, so that when the time comes, I can actually edit. Now I don't have much room on my screen. I would like to get rid of these guys. And here I can see I can actually move to the 50% version so that I can see the things properly. Notice what we got out here is, first of all, there is a split view controller. Now you might have just assumed, I will just forgive you for that. You might have assumed there are only two screens, one master and one simply the detail, but that's not the case this time. We got a lot than this. So you can see that first we got a split view controller, which is responsible on where you want to go. And simply you can put a dummy text, whether notes are there or maybe just a no note is out there. You can put a dummy text for that. And after that, we got a navigation controller, which controls our navigation where we want to go. Like first, we will be going into the master level. And inside the master level, there will be a prototype cell. We are already familiar with these kinds of stuff. And after that, again, there is a navigation controller, which should be there. Without that, how we are going to migrate into this? Now, in this case, that particular one cell item will act as a navigation controller. You might remember this just a few seconds ago. I was clicking on one particular cell of that time and I was able to go into the detail application. Quite interesting one. And in the detail view, we just got a detail view controller contents goes here. So if I go back onto zoom 100%, you can notice I have got this simple text view. Now again, I could have deleted it just now, put have my table view, but this might and this will broke a lot of things in our stuff. Okay, so we can have all these things. So quite an interesting one. Now I would like to move on to some interesting areas like master view control file. Here it is. And there is not much going out there. A couple of variables being defined. This is just a detail view controller type. Which is nil right now, and there are some objects, an array of any objects, and it is just being initialized like that. And there are data types which says any and any objects. Any object means it can be anything, but it should be an object. We are not worried about is it an array or something, but it should be an object. With any, we can put anything. Any object is always a good place to have that instead of any. And after that, inside the view did load, we are checking a couple of things, like we are checking for the navigation item, like left bar navigation item. And we are having a couple of checkings that where we want to place the things. So we can see that split view controllers and all of that. Right now, of course, it doesn't make much sense to you. And thereafter, we have got a view will appear and a couple of new insert objects. And you can see that segues are being transferred. So you will see when the segues are there, you will see some of these like prepares for segue. So we are saying that are we ready for moving on to the next segue, and are we moving on to the right segue or not? Like user wants to move on to the second row in the tab and he might be moving on to the first one. So it should not be done like that. And notice one more thing, that there is an as ns date quite a lot here. So this really makes a problem when you change your variables like that. Like right now, everything is in the date format. So when you edit this template, make sure that you keep an eye on this. This guy is really hurting a lot. And after that, we are quite familiar with the table view. We have already seen that these kinds of number of selections in the table view, and we have got number of rows in section and cell row for index path. We have already talked quite a lot about this. And all these codes from here to this guy up to here are all necessary for having that. And inside that, we are having the table views and all of these guys and all these master view application. So it's making a couple of checkings like view will appear. We want to have the animation split view controllers and all of that. If it doesn't make a sense, you do not need to be worried about much of that. You will get it eventually. And inside the detail view controller, we don't have much of that. We are just loading up configure view quite a number of times. So that is actually the work of the detail view. Just load this configure view quite a time. So you'll see that here. And once the view will load, you will see again that here, and quite obvious. And this is nothing. This is just an update of the interface, that whatever the detail is being present out there, just show me that. Nothing else, nothing much fancy in the detail view controller. So all the files or all the extra magic is going out in the master view controller. Now what we will be doing in the next section, I'll be editing this file and I'll be redeclaring all my variables and all of that things, so that we can build up a simple note-taking app. Nothing much fancy, nothing much extraordinary, but all the features like swiping, putting up a notes and displaying a couple of lines of the notes at the master view, and all such thing we'll be doing. So make sure that you Google out enough, because I'll be teaching you everything on the videos, but it is not going to be the always case. Sometimes you have to take in charge. You have to be in charge and try to learn by yourself as well. But nothing to worry. I'll teach you everything in the next section, but I would definitely like everyone to go ahead and try to do such things. And one thing I would like to give it a go for everyone, and that's on the main storyboard. Just go on to your detail view, delete this guy, that is detail view controller, and put a text view on this entire screen. And definitely what this will do, this will break your code, because in the view controller, master view controller, these are right now made as a buttons, and where these app delegate, And let me show you where the things will broke up. Here it is, because it's a detail view controller file. So things will broken. Right now it's a UI label and we want it to UI text view, and this circle will broke up. So you have to do exactly that much only, and rest I will cover up. So let's move on to the next section.